The defense of NATO country territory hasn't been a priority up until now. Will that change?
Yes, NATO's been an out-of-area alliance for well over the past 20 years, and now very clearly NATO will return to its collective defense core task.
How will that develop?
Well, I think you're already seeing it develop right now. U.S. forces are arriving in Estonia, Lithuania, and Latvia, reinforced by U.S. Airplanes. I think as the crisis continues to escalate, which I believe it will, this presence will only be reinforced along with other European NATO allies.
The US has previously complained that other NATO countries hasn't put up their 2% of GDP for defense expenses. Will that change?
I think we're already seeing it change. We're seeing now renewed commitments. Certainly, the Central European states and the Baltic states are feeling the immediacy of having to substantially raise their levels of defense spending. But I think other allies will have to reflect on the dramatically changed security environment that we're all in at the moment, and they're going to have to make their decisions accordingly. Look, the United States was certainly thought that they could reduce their presence in Europe and try to readjust their global defense spending. That has changed. So the global picture, the security situation has so dramatically shifted that everyone is going to have to reassess their military strength, their defense spending, and alliance core tasks.
It's been said that the countries west of Berlin aren't taking the Russian threat seriously. Do you think they will rethink that?
Well, I think it takes quite a while for countries to recognize that a policy that has been ongoing for 25 years, and that policy was an attempt to integrate Russia into the international system, into the West, has now come to a very dramatic end. And we don't want that to end. We want this to be part of a broader process of integration. So I think countries are slow and reluctant to change. And we're all not as economically healthy as we would like to be. So when we talk about sanctions, we're imposing pain on ourselves first, and that's very difficult to do in a democracy. But I believe that the security situation is so compelling. This goes against the United Nations Charter, the Helsinki Final Act. This is the international system as the West has developed it is now completely changed. We either defend that international system or we walk away from it. Either way, it's a choice. And I think this is very clear to our British colleagues, our French colleagues, our Spanish and Italian colleagues. While they may not feel the immediate threat as the Baltic states do, the threat to the international system is what they must focus on.